Welcome back, Truth Seeker. In the headlines is Nick Cannon. And on the Ides of March, they released the cause of death of his child who died at the start of December last year. If you recall, it was a major ritual with the death of his son synced up with the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola being shot by a cannon. And of course, we're talking about Nick Cannon. And just before we get into the cause of death coming out on the Ides of March, just to see what a perfect ritual this whole thing is, just remember, if you're new here, I guess not remember, but if you are new here, what we expose is how the Jesuits control the world of entertainment, government, media, and they perform twisted rituals every single day. For people like Nick Cannon to have a talk show, to be the celebrity, to be the person of focus that they are, again, to be on this world stage, so often these people have to make sacrifices, and no doubt his child was a sacrifice. They're coming out and saying he died from brain cancer. It's easy to disprove that brain cancer is the cause of death. It's easy to prove that ritual sacrifice is. And consider they put out the cause of death on, again, the Ides of March, the day that's remembered for an infamous murder in Roman history, the killing of Caesar in the Senate. But just to go back down memory lane, the child died December 5th, 2021, reportedly, but the news wasn't broken until December 7th. That happened to be the same day Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin were meeting about Ukraine, and not arbitrarily. Again, that's Pearl Harbor Day. And in this case, it was 201 days after the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year began, which matters in a big way because that is the number of the Jesuits. When you write out Ignatius of Loyola, who it's named after, it equals 201. And again, 201 days earlier is the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola was shot with a cannonball, which is why they made it New Year's Day for this first ever Ignatian year, the 500-year anniversary of him being shot with a cannon. And keep in mind, May 20th, 2018, that was the day Billy Cannon died, on the same anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola being shot with a cannon. As you recall, everything they did with Nick Cannon and the death of his child was synced up with the Super Bowl that the Rams won, who drafted Billy Cannon number 1 overall. And again, remember, the day Joe Burrow, who plays for the Bengals, transferred to LSU, that was the same day Billy Cannon died. And Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow both played for LSU. They're the only two players to ever win the Heisman for LSU. They're the only two players to win the championship over Clemson and New Orleans. Again, Joe Burrow transfers to LSU the day Billy Cannon dies, the day Ignatius of Loyola was shot with a cannonball in history, and then he goes on to have the exact same career at LSU as Billy Cannon. And then this year in the playoffs, Joe Burrow, again, he defeated in the playoffs the three teams that Billy Cannon played for before losing in the Super Bowl to the Rams, the team that drafted Billy Cannon number 1 overall. Burrow beat the Raiders, the Titans, and the Chiefs. Those are the three teams Billy Cannon played for. Nick Cannon's sacrifice of his son was part of this larger ritual. And notice, from the child's death on December 5th, 2021, to the cause of death coming out on the Ides of March, 101 days. And if you're new here, Gematria is very simple. It's the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with the rules numerology. Ides of March with the alphabetic order. A's 1, B's 2, C's 3, D's 4, so on. Ides of March is 101. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, canon is 101. So from the child's death to the Ides of March, when the cause of death comes out, 101 days. And if you want to count the span, it would be 102 days, just like how the NFL season that just passed, Super Bowl 56, that was the 102nd NFL season. When you use numerology, Ides of March equals 56, like how it was Super Bowl 56. And remember, 56 days after the child died, that's when the headline broke that Nick Cannon had impregnated Johnny Manziel's ex-wife, who was also a quarterback taken in the first round, like Joe Burrow, and played for the state of Ohio with the Cleveland Browns as opposed to the Cincinnati Bengals. But the impregnation story was 56 days after the child's death. Now, on the Ides of March, the 56th date, we get this news. And here's the other thing. Gematria, these are the four ciphers. Alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with the rules numerology. Brain cancer equals 74 when you run the alphabetic order and reverse the rules of numerology. The Ides of March is the 74th day of the year. And notice how in the most simple cipher, stabbing is 74. The Ides of March is to remember the killing of Caesar where he was stabbed to death. And again, stabbing is 74, so is killing. And again, the entity that's behind all these rituals is the Jesuits, which their formal title is the Society of Jesus. Jesus is 74, Cross is 74, Messiah is 74, Gospels 74, Parables is 74. Of course, Jesus spoke in parables. Parables are riddles. Every day, this cabal, this Society of Jesus, lays down riddles for the world to see if they can see through them. And most people can't. Most people are, eyes wide shut, as they say. But again, you learn this knowledge and you just look. And every single day, the stuff they put out, it's just so clear. Why make Nick Cannon part of the Super Bowl 56 ritual? Probably because it was the first ever Super Bowl on the 44th day of the year. Notice how in Gematria, Nick Cannon's 44 in the most pure cipher. They said the child died from brain cancer. Brain is 44 in the most simple cipher. So is cancer. So is chemo. So is kill. Like they say, if the cancer doesn't kill you, the chemo will. And again, it's all encoded in the language. And yeah, I mean, it's just sick to think about. I guess a lot of people are just greedy and they want the fame and the power, but it's just amazing how many people go along and participate with this stuff to be a celebrity. You think they wouldn't be able to sleep anymore? It's like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth the fame and the wealth? When I guess maybe these people are sociopaths, or who knows? Maybe they're raised to be sociopaths. I mean, it's hard to say exactly what happened to them. One thing that's different, though, is when I first looked into this, I could not find the child's birthday. So now they have one out there. I'm curious to look in real time what the child's from the child's birthday to the date of death. June 23rd, 2021 to December 5th. The child died 165 days later. That's interesting because the Rams, when they won the Super Bowl, they became 16-5 for the season. And again, that number's not arbitrary, 165. Scottish Rite is 165. American football is credited to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The Scottish Rite was created by the Jesuit order. That's why at the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite, they share the motto with the Jesuits, Ad Merum Dei Gloriam. And if you count the span, it would also be a span of 166 days. And that's another number that's not arbitrary. Secret Society's 166, which is what the Scottish Rite is, which is what the Jesuit Cabal is. But yeah, 101 days after the death on the Ides of March, a day known for killing, they put out the child's cause of death. And I mean, it's a mockery. It's making fun of people who are oblivious to the obvious. And again, just here was the original post. The news broke on December 7th, 2 days after the child's death. Again, 201 days after the Ignatian year began. This day was full of rituals. Remember, again, Biden and Putin met about Ukraine, and then Ukraine started with a huge 201 ritual, of course, because it's the same Jesuits. But again, if you're new here, 201 days after the Ignatian year began, Ignatius of Loyola equals 201. The first Jesuit Pope, who's Pope Francis' birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, is 201. Again, the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite, 201. The Jesuit Order's 201. Order of Illuminati's 201, which was founded by a Jesuit who died in history 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. State of Israel's 201. Nick Cannon's been doing a lot for Judaism, if you will, in recent years, ever since he got called out for being an anti-Semite, and then he set up a Jewish black foundation. We'll go back and look at the ritual with that as well. But remember, State of Israel's 201, part of the Jesuit network, and David Ben-Gurion. He died in history 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment, the same man who was the first prime minister of Israel who declared it a nation. But again, May 20th to the news breaking 201 days later. And for the record, that also means that from the start of the Ignatian year to the death of his child was 199 days later, which is the 46th prime. And of course, sacrifice equals 46. And Genesis 46 begins with the sacrifice. For Nick Cannon, it was his 61st day of his age. And again, this is why you got to know the ciphers forwards and backwards. Notice Ides of March also has that 61 in it. And like we were saying, the 74th day of the year, look at the word Jesus. 74 forward, 61 in reverse, just like cross. Think about Tupac, the last album put out after he died with him on the cross. Tupac's got the 7461 in it. And his rap alias was Machiavelli, which has the 74. And of course, that album came out on Remember the 5th of November, the Jesuit date, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Like Society of Jesus is 56. And again, from the child's death, the January 30th news about the impregnation of Johnny Manziel's ex. Clearly football related. And realize, we understood all this from the beginning, but it became more and more clear as time went on. It's just like, look how they just bring it all together with this sick world of celebrity and rig sports. And you know what? In light of this news, first breaking on the day that Biden and Putin were meeting on Pearl Harbor Day, a guy named Cannon. Again, just associated with military, right? Warfare. All of this stuff, just one big, sick, ongoing, connected Jesuit ritual. And again, Nick Cannon's full name, like the Bengals, Joe Burrow was the living Billy Cannon, ends up losing to the team that Billy Cannon was drafted by. And the woman he impregnated, her name was like Bengals. And her birthday was May 4th, 5-4. It was the Bengals' 54th season. From the news breaking to the day that this news came out was 54 days later. From the child's death to the news was 56 days. Again, this was the Bengals' 54th season. When Joe Burrow won the college championship as a LSU Tiger, it was all about 54. There was a lot of ritual sacrifice with the number 54, including the 54th governor of Louisiana who died right before the game. Same stuff just been going on. It goes on with college and pro and all the world of entertainment. There's just so much ritual sacrifice. It's just so blatant. And, anyway. Johnny Manziel fit in perfectly, too. Same numbers. Again, another former number one NFL draft pick. Just like Joe Burrow. And, before this happened, Nick Cannon was apologizing for being anti-Semitic. Or, hold on. I'm not even to the right story. On February 3rd, 2022, Nick Cannon apologized for coming out and announcing that he had a new baby on the way shortly after the death of his last child. And he was made to do this on the 34th day of the year, February 3rd. What's funny about that is exactly a year to the day, exactly 1 year to the day, him and Tiffany Haddish, or however you say her name, launched the Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance, and again on the 34th day of the year, and Black and Jewish is 34. A year to the day later, he's announcing his child and then apologizing for, his new child. So, and it was 119 days after his birthday. Star of David, Orthodox 119. We just talked about this number a lot just a couple days ago with regards to Israel. Let's not forget that Black Entertainment Television also equals 119. That's BET. And it's kind of funny how they make, they call a black celebrity anti-Semitic, and then, he's doing this ritual. Remember, in the Old Testament, the oldest Jew is black, Methuselah. So, anyway. And remember, the Jesuits are Catholic and Jewish. So, just wanted to make sure that this one didn't fly under the radar. A lot going on in the world. And notice when March Madness starts, just the news cycle slows down, less drama in the headlines. It's amazing that people can't figure out what's going on, It's like, we don't need to distract them as much with the news. They're already going to be distracted with March Madness. And why it's like, why did they even call that in the first place? March Madness. What's that all about? You got to be mad to not see how rigged these games are. Anyway, we'll keep it short and sweet, Truth Seeker. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share. And again, Sweet Lady just finished her school. She does have to start studying for a big exam, but she finished school, so I spent more time with her than normal today because she had the day off, and it was nice to spend some time with Sweet Lady, but I'll spend the rest of the evening with her too, and then got to get back on the grind, and Again, the announcement's coming real soon that I'm done with the book. It's just, at first I was disappointed with myself that I hadn't finished it, but in the last month or so, I've been glad I didn't finish it because I really did figure out some things in recent times that has just made it so much better. But as time goes on, it'll continue to get better. So I just got to finish the book, and then eventually I can start another one. But for those of you guys who are anxious for the book, the announcement is coming soon, so I won't keep you in suspense too much longer. And again, April 19th, it's a month and a day away. And again, looking forward to that as well. So for the people in the chat who leave comments like "wrench me," give me a wrench. Again, that's like the comment to make if you don't ever want to get a wrench. I give out wrenches to people who leave great, helpful comments. You want to get a wrench? Leave a great comment in the chat, and I'll be like, all right, there's a good contributor to the community. Wrench me? That just makes you go, I'm going to remember that guy's name so I don't give him a wrench. He's going to have to leave about 10 good comments before he ever gets a wrench. So anyway, just to let you know how it works. We'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Have a good rest of your night, or if you're in that other part of the world, have a good rest of your day. And until next time.